What's the hardest thing to draw? For most people, it's other people. Drawing faces is tough, but it doesn't have to feel impossible. I'm going to show you something that I did for just 1 month that helped me a lot, and you can absolutely do it too. So when I was about 15, I really wanted to draw amazing portraits, not just messy little sketches, but drawings that captured a person, something that would make people stop and say, wow, that's them. And yeah, I wanted to impress my friends and, I don't know, maybe even a girl or two. I sweated over it. I got a lot of books on drawing portraits out of the library, but I don't know that any of them were especially helpful. There seemed to be a lot of different techniques and methodologies, but none of them came with a magic key that would unlock my genius. What I realized is that the way to get better at drawing people isn't some hack or a trick. The truth is a lot simpler. If you want to get better and better at drawing any individual person, draw lots and lots of different people. In time, you gain an intuitive sense of where eyes should be placed or how features combine to form expressions, how to simplify the elements of a face to capture the essence of a person without having to draw every pore and wrinkle and hair. Sure, you can study anatomy books and you can look at flayed corpses, but a lot of it just comes from looking and experience. You get more and more of a feeling for where the bones lie, where the muscles tie in, how the skin folds, how the shadows define the volume. You know how arms move and how spines curve and how poses convey emotion. I'm always learning. I'm always trying new techniques, new types of subjects, and new media. I'm my own art teacher. And to help me improve, I give myself specific assignments with rules that reduce my options so that I can focus on what truly matters. So I often set myself a challenge. And here's a good one. I wanted to see what would happen if for 1 month I limit myself. Gray paper, ink, white gouache or white pencil, and just men in white shirts. Would those limits stifle me, or would they actually push me forward? Other than that, there were no rules. I was free to capture any kind of subject in any kind of way. Here are a few thoughts about drawing people. These days, I'm a lot less intimidated by drawing people, but I rarely try to draw people I know. Because of the pressure of trying to capture a likeness, it can be so intense that it sucks all the fun out of the process. It all seems to come down to a judgment, usually the judgment of the subject, as to whether it really looks like them. Of course, it's a horribly subjective business because even if you could draw a photographic likeness of somebody, they could be insulted in how accurately you captured the dimensions of their cucumber nose or their pendulous jowls or the full set of Samsonite luggage under their eyes. So generally, I tend to stick to drawing strangers. Now, when you draw a stranger in public, usually they'll have moved away before they even finish the drawing. They don't see what you're doing. Or if you draw something from a magazine, when you look back at it weeks or months or years later, the original subject matter will be long gone, long lost to history and your faulty memory. Not having a reference for my drawings, not having something to check my accuracy against, it's pretty liberating. Maybe I screwed it up. I can't even remember. Over the weeks that I spent filling this gray sketchbook, I experimented with lots of different forms. At times, I was slow and deliberate and really tried to capture a likeness through detailed observation. At other times, I was fast and loose. I worked with brushes and I made bold, slashing lines. I used fine liners to capture textures and tones with hatching. Now, I only drew on one side of the paper, so I was free to use any material, big, fat Sharpie markers, or a type of paint marker that's called crink that usually I wouldn't use because it bleeds through the page. But I could feel free and bold when I use these big fat markers. I didn't care what happened. I tried gouache, I tried tempera, I tried whiteout. I also tried various pencils to find the whitest one that I could. The winner was the Stabilo 8052. I tried to draw men on the move. I tried to draw their full bodies. I also did portraits of just their heads and their shoulders. Sometimes I was caricature-y and cartoony in my drawings. I drew from photos and magazines. I drew from websites. Some I drew on the street. Some I drew from my imagination. Some I drew from photographs that I'd taken with my camera. In most cases, I started by looking at the reference, but then I let my imagination fly, and I created men that didn't actually exist. Having a single sketchbook to work in, a single project, meant that it was easy to pick up and knock out a couple of drawings while I had the burning need to draw something, anything. My approach was throwaway. I wasn't expecting excellence. I was just playing with variations on a theme. And it proved to be a very broad theme with lots of room for experimentation and play. There's nothing like a theme or any set of restrictions to focus your art making into a narrow, high-powered stream of creativity. By eliminating distractions, you can play endless variations on the theme and come up with unexpected and highly educational discoveries. If you want to get better at drawing people, I highly recommend an exercise like this. Give yourself some kind of limitation. It could be the medium that you use. It could be the size of the sketchbook. It could be the type of person that you draw, men with beards, women with blonde hair, mustaches of Eastern Europe. And then fill those empty pages from cover to cover. Draw different faces in different ways, from different angles. Mix it up. But don't overthink it. Don't judge yourself too much. The goal isn't perfection. It's to fill those pages and to see where those limitations take you. It's the limitations that'll help to build your drawing muscles and help to get you where you want to be. A person who can draw anyone. If I can do it, so can you.